welcome back to Mac School Prep TV. It is a perfect time to discuss another academic resource known as Quizlet. This is something you're not going to want to miss out on because this study tool right here will make sure that your learning and study experience is taken to the next level. But before we jump into the content, I want to introduce myself. If you do not know, my name is Mackenzie Warren. I'm the founder of Mac School Prep, and it is my goal to give you everything you need to know, all the tools, all the tips, all the strategies, all the resources to ensure your success in an academic setting. With that said, I just want to remind you now to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat. Alrighty, no more delay, it's time, let's get it. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the landing page for Quizlet. This is basically the homepage that you'll see once you've officially logged into your account. I'll be sure to put a link in the description of this YouTube video for how to get to Quizlet.com so you know exactly how to access this resource and know exactly how to take advantage of it. And then also I'll be sure to put another link regarding how to create an account for Quizlet. That way you're not lost in terms of that. But with that said, what I want to do now is just travel over here to my profile section, click on this button that says your study sets in this drop-down menu. And as we can see, back in October 2018, I was working with these two different study sets right here, one with 67 terms, the other with 55 terms. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and click on this first one so you can have a better idea of what Quizlet is, how you should be using this resource, all that good stuff. So now that this page is populated and we start to scroll through this right here, we can see that basically Quizlet is an online flashcard service. And so instead of having index cards that you study and you write on, Quizlet allows you to make and study flashcards online. That way you don't have the risk of losing your paper index cards. Everything is online, you're leveraging technology, and everything is in a safe, reliable location. And so as we can see right here, this study set of flashcards has about 67 cards in here. We have the terms on one side, click on it, and we have the definition on the other side. And if we just scroll down this page, we can see we have 67 cards. These are all of the cards in the study set kind of displayed in a different type of format. You're not having to click that arrow to scroll through the study set. But what I want to do now is just travel up here to this section of Quizlet right here so that we can explore the different ways to study our flashcards. And so the first and the most basic way would be just looking at them as though they are flashcards. It's just called the flashcards way of studying. And we can see right here, we can just flip through. And what we're looking at right now is the definition of all the terms in my study set. And if we click on the card, we can see the other side, which is the definition's corresponding term. Another great thing about Quizlet is that if we just click on this options button, we can change the way we're studying. And so maybe I want to answer with the definition instead of the term. Now we're looking at all the terms and we can just click on it and we can see the definition on the other side. But maybe you're like, I don't like either of those ways. I want to answer with both. And so basically what you can see right now is that Quizlet gives you a lot of different options for how to display the words on these flashcards, which is really cool. So this is one of the ways you can study using Quizlet. If we go ahead and click this back arrow, we're going to go ahead and click on this next one, which is Learn, the Learn option. And what we can see right here, I'm going to just go ahead and click on press any key to continue so that we can go ahead and familiarize ourselves with how the learn option of Quizlet works. And so what we're looking at right now is basically, I see the definition up here, and it's just a little bit of a different interactive activity in which I have the terms that I can choose from that correspond to this definition. And so maybe if I click on two-word stage, we see if I get it wrong, this is what will pop up, and Quizlet basically kind of gets you to rectify your mistake. And then I can press any key to continue, and it gives us another definition in the set. So the persistence of learning over time through storage and retrieval of information. So maybe we'll click on encoding. Okay, so this is saying that it's wrong, but you kind of get the point with how this works. And so, for example, I got that one right, and then it doesn't give you the pop-up saying you need to study this, and you just kind of progress through the set like that. So that's the Learn option of Quizlet. Now we're going to travel down to the Write option. And so basically this is a little bit different here. Maybe you learn better when you are typing the terms out. And once again, I just want to mention that for all of these different study options in Quizlet, you can change the display. So maybe I want to type the definition, and that'll be an option, so I can test, press answer, and so if you get it incorrect, it'll tell you the right answer, and you can just press any key to continue. And maybe you don't want to answer with the definition, instead you want to answer with the term. That's another option as well. And once you've typed whatever you think the answer is, answer. If it's incorrect, it will prompt you with what the correct answer is supposed to be. And basically, that is how the right option of Quizlet studying works. But what we're going to do now is just travel back to this menu over here and look at the other interactive activity that Quizlet has for studying information. So now we have the spell option. This is a really great tool for auditory learners because, for example, what we have going on here is we have our definition, and then we listen to an automated voice telling us what exactly we need to type, what term would correspond with this definition. So let's try it out.
Flashbulb memory.
So basically we heard it say flashbulb memory, so we would just go ahead and type that in there, press enter, and you just kind of progress through the study set like this. So now the next word was encoding.
Encoding.
And so basically this is just a way for us to study our flashcard sets. So now what I'm going to do is, after that demonstration, we're going to go ahead and hit the back arrow and click on this other study option that Quizlet gives us called test. So how test works is it kind of appeals to all different types of learners. We have definitions that we can answer with the term. We type the answer. We have some matching questions here. We have multiple choice. We have some true and false. This is just a different type of study strategy that we can use. I tend to prefer the test option. And like I've continued to say, if we ever want to change the display, change how we're answering these questions, we always can just click on the options button and we can change how we are answering to our study set. So maybe we want to answer with the term, a combination of both, or just the definition. It's up to you. Quizlet is very great about allowing you to customize your study experience. And so now that you've gotten an idea of how the test option works, we're just going to go ahead and hit the back arrow and look at a couple of the games that Quizlet also has available. So if we click on this match one, this is just another interactive activity where we can basically just drag and drop terms to their definitions or definitions to terms. And basically, as you saw right there, it was green whenever you get it right, and then it'll be red whenever you get it wrong. That's just kind of how the matching section of Quizlet works. And so as we can also see over here, Quizlet times you in this game. And so for people who are really competitive like me, we are going to want a super fast time. So that's going to serve as a motivation for us to really know our terms, our definitions, or whatever it is that we're studying inside and out, so that we can have a really fast time and prove to ourselves that we are very knowledgeable in this subject. So now that we've gotten an idea of how the matching part of Quizlet works, the matching game, we're going to just click the back button and look at this last game that Quizlet offers called Gravity. And if we just go ahead and click Get Started, we're basically prompted with this options box right here where we can customize our study experience once again. Maybe we want to go easy. Like I said, you can always choose whether you want to answer with term, definition, or random. Let's just go random. And once we're ready, once we have everything that we want selected up here, we just go ahead and click on Let's Go. You can read the instructions right here and then press Start Game. And so how this works right here is we have these little asteroids falling down with maybe terms or definitions. And for right here, since I'd be answering with the definition, I would write out whatever I think, press enter, and if I get it wrong, that asteroid ends up hitting the planet. So you kind of get the point with that. And so asteroids just continue to fall. But since we also got that other one wrong and the asteroid ended up hitting our planet, now Quizlet is trying to make sure that you really know your information, which is why it's giving us this prompt saying, hey, automatic processing, this is the definition. This is what you need to know because it seems as though you're not getting it correct. So right here, what I would do is end up typing out unconscious encoding, blah, 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 copying that answer. And then once I have that, I'd be able to resume my game. And if you change your difficulty to medium or hard, the asteroids begin to fall faster and faster. So that just adds a little bit of pressure and makes sure that you really know your information without having to think about it twice. But now that you've gotten the point with this gravity game, we're going to just go ahead and click on this back arrow. So now that you've gotten a better idea of the different ways you can study and play with Quizlet, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about about how you can actually create your own study set. So this one that we're working with right here, this is a study set that I made on my own, but maybe you're not studying psychology. Maybe you want to do something for math or English, I don't know, whatever the case may be, but you want to create your own personalized study set. So how you do that is you just go up here to this option that says create, you select that. And so let's say that we're working with Spanish. Maybe I want to do a couple of translations for phrases, and that's what I want to study. So I might write for the term side, hola, and Quizlet is really great because it actually tries to guess what you're getting at. And so maybe I want hola, ¿cómo estás? I can select that. I don't even have to write it out. And then Quizlet translates it for you. Basically, kind of going back to that idea of it just being really great, it kind of tries to read your mind, kind of ease your work, because it's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? It figures, hey, you're probably wanting the English definition. Maybe try selecting from one of these options that we have available. And so that would just save us a lot of time in terms of that. Now let's just move down here and do another phrase. For example, if we're still working with Spanish, maybe we'll do morado for purple. So we'll click on morado. And like I said, Quizlet prompts you with what it thinks you're trying to get at. And so I don't even have to write out the word purple. I can just select that from that drop-down menu. Maybe our last word will be coche. Then we'll come over here. And like I said, Quizlet will always give you this prompter where it's trying to figure out what you're getting at. And so we can just select car from this. Once we are done with all the terms in our sets, we can go up to 55 or 60 or 100, however many we want. And how we can just continue adding is just pressing this button, add card. But once we're done, we can name our study set. So we're just going to call it Spanish. And then we press this button, create, so that we can officially have our study set ready to go. Now you see that it gives you a little prompting box here where it says, hey, nice set. Are you ready to share it? Maybe you want to email your study set to a friend or a family member or a peer or yourself. I don't know. You can always just type in their email address right here whenever you're done creating your set, and you just press send email and it just goes straight to their inbox. But maybe instead of sending an email, you just want to copy the link and keep that on the side. Maybe you want to put it on social media, whatever the case may be. Quizlet gives you those options to share whatever it is that you're working on. Now that we've finished sharing, basically what we can see right here is this is our new study set. We're no longer dealing with psychology terms, but we're dealing with those Spanish terms that we just created, and we can go through all those games, all that stuff again that I showed you previously with our new study set. One last thing I want to touch on with Quizlet is maybe you're feeling really lazy one day, or you're like, I don't have a lot of time to make my own study set. Let's see what's available on Quizlet, what's already out there in the world. And so Quizlet is really great, and I know I keep saying Quizlet is great, it's just because it is, where it allows you to make your study sets public, where other people can access them and where you can access other people's study sets. And so, for example, let's say we're dealing with a math class and we want to look at maybe trig identities. That was something that I had to memorize when I was in pre-calculus, and so I can just type that up here. And so as you can see over here, Quizlet has these different options where it allows you to kind of customize what it is that you're looking for. And so maybe we don't want to pay for the study set that we're looking for, so we just change the price setting to free. Maybe in the type section we want sets or study guides or users or classes. We can just kind of select what we want, and then also created by, you can basically narrow the scope of study sets that you have to choose from by selecting a different option over here. And so maybe if you select plus user, obviously your choices to choose from are going to go down. Same goes for if you select verified creator. That's why I tend to keep mine on all sets and free. That way I don't have to pay. That way I'm looking at flashcards, and that way I have a lot of options that I can choose from, and I'm not just working with verified creators or plus users. And so what we're looking at right now is, I know that I wanted to look at already created sets for trig identities, and as we see right here, this is exactly what I was looking for. I can just select maybe this one right here. It has 29 terms. That seems like a lot, and I can just start studying them. I don't even have to pay, and I don't have to waste time making my own set. I can just use what somebody has already created. My last thing is that if you ever want to get back to the study sets that you've created, you always just go back here to that profile section that we were looking at the beginning and select your study sets. And my AP Psychology sets that we were looking at the beginning are here, and then we also have that Spanish flashcard set that we made just a few minutes ago. So that's how that works. I'm hoping that you feel like you have a little bit more insight into how to use Quizlet. You're feeling a little bit more comfortable with this resource. And so with all of that said, it is now time for me to turn you loose on the world and for you to start making the most of Quizlet, because this is a really, really great study resource that you can use in high school, college, and beyond. So make sure that you're taking advantage of it.
Alrighty, well, after that detailed tutorial, you should now know all the ins, all the outs of Quizlet, but it's now up to you to put it all into use and to put it all into practice. I just want to give you a couple more friendly reminders. Do not forget to check out all the links in the description below. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you didn't do it at the beginning. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat with anything and everything that I have to offer. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!